shadow on the wall that looks like a man. Lord, that lamp just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real, real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarms setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rider friends are goes hunting tonight. That's right. Go get 'em, boys.
And welcome to PEN. Welcome to Pema TV.
Welcome to January 4th, 2013, our first show of the year.
Yes, it is. And we're coming up, believe it or not, folks, Pema TV is coming up on an anniversary here soon.
Pema TV and PEN.
That's true.
PEN's second anniversary will be March 18th.
Yep.
Pema TV's third anniversary will be March 19th.
That's right. And in internet years, that's like for forever.
We've been around so long, people are trying
We're not farting dust yet, but we're getting there.
Well, he is, but that's all.
But we get discounts at the internet movies. Never mind.
Really, let's discuss this for a moment, shall we? John Dugan went to the movies the other night to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D.
That he
is in.
Yeah.
As Grandpa for the second time. He was in the original as the grandfather. He's in this one as the grandfather. $16 a ticket, really?
That's not counting the $35 popcorn or the $12 soda.
Well, don't forget the $11 jujubes either. That is ridiculous.
Well, that's why they're always right next to finance companies now.
And hello, he's in it. They should let him in for free.
You would think.
God.
I didn't do it. They got to pay for all those special effects somehow.
Okay, I will totally show my age. First movie I ever went to, I was 3. Jungle Book. It cost me 50 cents to get in at the matinee. $16? Yeah.
I was 2 or 3, and I think the first movie I ever went and saw was Old Yeller.
And he still cries.
Yeah, I still cry when Old Yeller dies. It's a sad movie.
It's sort of like Where the Red Fern Grows.
Only sadder.
Anyway.
And the dog is more blonde. But other than that, we're getting off way off.
Sorry, I had to go there. He said movies.
Real quick, everybody. Right below the chat rooms, you will see our social media buttons. Please practice your stalking skills on us. Follow us. Get all of our announcements. We do have a link. If you look up the buttons at the top of the website, we do have a link page. If you'd like to exchange your links with us, all we ask is a straight trade. It helps everybody.
And
drum roll.
Please.
We are pleased to announce
PEN is having their first Paracon
Yes, we are.
In Napanock, New York,
Yep.
May 3rd and 4th. There will be a website available. Check Facebook. I just sort of finished it today. I've been working on it all day long. There it is. Never mind.
It is in the
He
chat room.
posted it.
It is in the chat room. For those of you watching it on archives, it is actually www.penevents.webs.com. PENEVENTS.com.
.webs.com.
Oh, .webs.com. Excuse me.
I went free. Hey,
I know.
free's good.
Free is good. Free, and these days and times, free is awesome. But back to the subject at hand, so to speak.
It's not the subject at hand. Tonight, we have a very special guest. He is the owner of Z Talk Radio. Even though he's shaking his head no, I'm giving him that title for the next hour anyway. But even better, he is one of the ultimate orb tones.
Yes, he is. He does play a solo role in the orb tones. He's also a fellow broadcaster.
Paranormal investigator, and all-around fun guy.
And former male model. Glad to welcome to the show.
It was Chippendale, sorta.
It was Chip and Chip Coffee. I don't know what it was. Chippendales, that's for sure. Hey, welcome.
Welcome, Scotty Rorek.
Teaching me. I'm doing TV.
Yay!
And you're being seen by millions of viewers right now.
All 12 of them.
And
Millions.
I had to dress up for it. Not like when I do my radio show, I can sit in whatever I want to because it's radio.
Well, yeah, it'd be like Ron White. You could be naked in a beanbag chair eating Cheetos if you wanted to. That's up to you.
The crunch may get a little loud on, you know.
You just mute the mic.
Aha.
Of course, you do get that little orange dust all over the microphone fuzz.
Yeah, and the windscreen would look kind of bad, but other than that, would be cool.
Yeah, you just
It's
hose
yours.
it off and move on.
It's your windscreen.
I know I have to buy a new one every week. It's just like orange. And
How are you, Scotty?
I'm doing great. I actually took some time off between what was it, December 18th and right now, and now I'm back into it. So it's kind of nice. So you guys are, it's your first show of the year and my first show back. So it's kind of neat. I haven't even done our radio show since. Just took a break this year around Christmas. And it also helped that the radio show fell on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to do live shows then. So
Yeah, so you do a Monday night show because that's the same night Mary and I fell on.
Yeah.
yeah, I do Monday nights from 8 to 11 or 8 to midnight. Depends on how long the show goes.
We do 8 to 9:30.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
How-
We're on a long time. So, it's fun. We're doing a little bit different on the show this year. We call it The Buzz Gives Back this year. It's kind of a new theme for this year. In the past, we've done a lot of interview shows. I mean, and congratulations on being on, 2.5 years, 2 years for you guys, because that's phenomenal in internet time.
Thank you.
There's not any shows that last more than 2 weeks, so congratulations.
Either that or we're really slow learners, Scotty. One of the two.
Exactly. I mean, I just hit my 450th show, so I am pretty excited that I've been on just right about 5 years now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a long time doing radio, internet radio, so it's kind of fun. So
And before any of our viewers in the chat room or anybody watching us on archives freaks out and starts emailing, worrying about Scotty, first of all, like I just showed you, he does have a ghost pack. 'Cause
Yes.
Who are you going to call? Second of all, yes, he does know that there is a ghost on his chair.
there's a ghost on my chair.
Yeah. I think there is.
Ah, yes, there is. That's spooky.
Yeah.
He is always with me. He's there when I do readings, and people always laugh at that when I do my mediumship readings, and I do them online here on the video. So I'm kind of used to the video thing, but I brought him out. He's lit up now for the new year, so he's kind of having fun.
He's partying with the rest of us.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good year. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this year. I don't know about you guys. I just think it's going to be just a much better year. I mean, more spiritual year all around. So I'm really excited. But anyway, so the buzz this year, because of that, we call it the Buzz Gives Back. And what it is this year, instead of just doing interviews, we're actually doing one interview a show that has to do something with helping people. You know, 1 week it could be readings, 1 week it could be a guy doing taxes, 1 week it could be, but it's something that helps everybody every week. We're going to try to help people out more this year. We're going to try to see if as a community, as paranormal community, a spiritual community, we can all start coming together instead of fracturing like it's been. Yeah. So we're really going to start taking that approach this year. 2013 is going to be the year where at least my show will start, and then hopefully others will pick up, that we actually try to work together with people instead of work against people. We try to help people that are in need instead of trying to break them down, cut them down, step on them to get somewhere. So if we can all start with one person at a time or one show at a time, I think that this is going to be a phenomenal year, and I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. We decided that last year was a year of clearing or cleansing. I mean, it seems a lot of people, a lot of us thought we're friends, weren't really so much.
Right.
It was kind of like cleaning the closet and getting ready for this year. And this year we're ready to rock. And like I mentioned at the beginning, we have our first Paracon coming up, and a portion of all the donations are actually going to an animal rescue.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, our whole fundamental idea over here has always been to give a voice to those that needed one or wouldn't normally have the ability to be one.
Right.
And to give back. Because of health issues I had last year, because of us relocating physically this year, the economy's in a crapper. This is a time when people need to figure out that the community is very important.
And the friendships is probably the biggest thing that we can take out of this. Without the friendships or working with people, I don't know why we're even doing this. Everyone says, "Oh, I'm here for answers." Well, the answers come when we work together. The answers don't come if we're all fighting against each other.
Right.
The amount of people that have EVPs out there that won't share them, that won't tell people how they got them or where they got them, or won't allow them into that haunted house because they don't want anybody else in there. Instead of offering, "Hey, can I have another group come in here and see if we can catch the same spirit on tape?"
Right.
And I would like. We did it in Kentucky at a cemetery, and we did 3 investigations by 3 different groups, 6 months apart, and all 3 of us got EVPs that were identical in voice from the same spirit. So that to me supersedes all this other. I mean, if you look at science itself, one person finds something because he was experimenting and he can now recreate it. Now he has somebody else recreate it to see if it's the same thing. So I don't know why in the paranormal we don't do that. Why aren't we trying to? Well, because people's egos are getting way too big. And it's like, stop getting your ego. Let's work together to get the answers and really try to help the people. Instead of just trying to say, "Oh, they got ghosts." We all got ghosts. It's weird. It's weird on how they're more worried about the ego instead of helping that homeowner or helping that person that you're trying to investigate for them, because I've seen a lot of groups, and I mean, being a medium myself, I always say to paranormal groups, and when I speak at conferences and do my lectures, I always talk, why don't every group have a medium in their group? And the reason is, how can you actually help somebody other than by telling them that they have ghosts? And most people know that that's why you're over there. How are you going to help that homeowner deal with that spirit in their house? How are you going to help that homeowner to live with that spirit in the house, or ask that spirit to leave? So those are the type of questions that I think we need to be focusing more on. And I'm not calling anyone moron. I'm just saying that we need to be focusing more on that type of thing. You know what I mean? I think that's where the field needs to be progressing, not into, oh, you can't come into my turf, you can't play in my sandbox, you can only do this.
Right, I agree. We had a team up in St. Louis. He was like, oh, we had a great investigation last night at this funeral home, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, cool, where? Undisclosed, can't tell you. But another thing I think we need to work on, and this is one of my little pet peeves, someone posts a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be orbs or what have you, and people are looking at it and giving their opinions, and you'll always have at least 2 to 3 that will go, what are you, an idiot? Don't you know that's a bug? Don't you know that's the tree or matrix?
Right.
Why do we got to be nasty like that? Can't you just kind of say, well, this is what I think, and explain it out instead of calling names?
Right. Because by calling names, we feel superior to someone else.
Right.
We don't have enough confidence in what we are and what we do. So we have to call other names. We have to call people by names and bring them down instead of trying to help them and lift them up. So that's where the difference is. That's really where I think we all need to focus on this year.
And my lovely redheaded angel of a wife that's sitting here right here next to me coined the best phrase that I've heard to describe it. It's the black suburban syndrome. And people that are afflicted with the black suburban syndrome, like you said, they put ego in front of everything. They don't want to tell you where they've been or what they've done. You can see it on YouTube.
And any minute now, Hollywood's going to offer them, millions of dollars to be on a show. Give them a black suburban and let them do their own thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I even heard that's been starting to be seen at conferences too. People are actually putting on their banners as seen on YouTube. Now,
YouTube?
Yes.
What I would love to have people do is please start using PEN or ZTalk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll help you out, Scotty. Use PEN or ZTalk and say as seen on or as heard on.
Yeah, exactly.
Please feel free to add that to any banner that you want to do, whether you've been on or not. I don't care.
We were doing that this summer. We were with Aaron Houdini and I forget who else we were. My wife and Bridget and a few others, and we were just joking about that. I mean, where we're going to be seen on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, seen on. We're all got shows. I mean, I got a couple shows coming up this year, and it's just. But that's not the goal of the show. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's to be able to put the message out of the story that we were trying to tell.
Absolutely.
So that's where the difference lies, I mean? But as seen on YouTube, okay, anybody can post anything on YouTube,
Yeah.
So as seen on Google search page 7.
Right.
Well, if you type Pema Encounters Mid-America, I'm number 1 on that page.
Yeah.
There you go.
See?
Yeah, I did the thing the other day. I was sitting around and I'm like going, okay, how many pages of Google do I have? And I looked at it, and last time I looked, I think it was like 70. I'm like, oh, my name's on at least 70 pages. And there's one on there. There's a guy called Scotty Rorek. And see, now my family's from Poland, and we have a very unique name because the spelling of my name is different than anyone else's. Mine's Rorek. And there's only one family out there in the world that has that name. We are not. So if you are Rorek, Rorek, you are related to us. So there aren't that many of us left out there. That name's not big. So there was another Scott Rorek that was supposed to help this school district. So I took credit for it. I'm like, yeah, I did that.
You gotta go there.
I'm like, oh, that wasn't me, but I'll take credit for it anyway. If you want to say I helped the school district with something, I don't know.
He flew the Hindenburg. He was driving the Titanic. Yeah, that was all Scotty. He's been around.
He's been around a long time, but he looks really good for his age.
Yeah.
I just can't look into mirrors.
And just as long as you don't tell me to paint you like one of my French girls, will be okay.
Oh yeah, I want to. No. Yeah, I'm like Dorian Gray. I can't look into a mirror. So,
Scotty, I have to ask you this: what was your motivation? What's kept you motivated? Everybody that's in the quote unquote paranormal has a reason that why they got involved and how they got motivated.
This is the hardest question, and every year I kind of struggle with this. With the issues that we have, all the drama that's out there. You sit there and you wonder why are you still doing this? Why are we in for it? But I guess the reason why I got into it compared to the reason why I'm still into it is very different. I think the biggest reason I'm in it is because there are people that just don't have anywhere else to turn.
Right.
They just don't have anybody else to talk to. They just need some answers. They need some guidance. And I think by me helping in that way is the best for me. It's a rewarding experience to help people, especially through my readings and being able to get them in touch with their loved ones, to help them with a little closure, to help make themselves feel a little better about themselves or feel a little bit better about the passing of loved ones. I've been helping a lot of children in homes that are afraid to be in homes because they see ghosts and they think they're scary because everyone tells them that they're scary. That type of thing is what's driving me is the fact that there is really still this negative or this Hollywood image of the paranormal that is quite weird. It is the scariness of the paranormal that all Hollywood puts on it, which is not. And that's where I'm trying to inform people and help people learn the fact that it is not scary, that spirits are around us everywhere we go. Spirits are with us, and we need to learn to live with them and work with them, not be scared of them and run around and think they're going to chop our head off and we're going to vomit pea soup, Right. I just find it, and even some of the TV shows, you call Black Suburban, even there, what's that? How do you know who's there? How do you know what's happening unless you're really working with the spirits that are there? So that's the type of thing that's happening with me, I guess that's my motivation to still be in it, is the fact if I can help one person this year, then this year was worth it.
Okay, Scotty, let me help you out here. Next time someone asked you that question, last week or the week before, last week on Yakking with the Yeti, Jeff Leeper said he was in it for the hot chicks.
Yep.
And you can say that. You can say that because I saw your wedding pictures on the beach.
Did you?
Yes, I did. See, you got yourself a hot chick, so.
I do.
You were in it for the hot chicks.
My wife is wonderful. That's another motivation. My wife Terry, she's always by my side. She goes to conventions with me. She supports me in my readings. She helps us out. She's taken a turn for the best either. Being a very fundamental Christian to being a spiritualist now, she's, come full circle. And it's great to have that support and have somebody right there next to you. So.
But that'll help you out next time. Just tell them you're in it for the hot chicks. And you found one.
All right, maybe. But then everybody else is going to be.
Well, tell them you used it
Well, just
first.
keep them away from yours.
Right.
Yeah, they will stay away from mine.
Hey, I got you. I'm a little protective myself. I don't share well. I got an effing sandbox. On Z Talk, being on the radio format, what's the one real influential thing that you've tried to do over there, with the message you're getting out over there? Is it the same? Is it the same message that keeps you motivated, or?
Yeah, it's similar, and you guys talked about it too with what you guys do over here. It's very similar. It's trying to give the people the name. I know we were kind of talking about this before, about sponsors and stuff before we went on the air, but to me, a sponsor is great. I'd be more than happy to not pay for everything myself. You know what I mean, out of my pocket. But I don't want to be hindered by a sponsor.
Right.
I don't ever sponsor to tell me or anyone on my station that they can't say what they want to say. because that will never happen. I will drop the sponsor before I will drop a show because they're saying something that they don't want to say. I've had shows that swore, and I've had people that get mad at me because I allow that show on the station and blah, blah, blah. To me, that's good that you're mad because you're listening, and if it's something you don't like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But this is the United States of America, and we don't have very many liberties left. And free speech, to me, is a very, very important amendment to our Constitution. We need to have free speech. We need to have it. We need to be able to express it. We can't be humans if we don't express what we think, because that's what makes us different. So, from a radio standpoint, I don't censor my shows. I give them an hour, I give them 2 hours, I give them 4 hours, whatever they want. And I said, just show up and do your show and say what you want to say. And that's it. And that's all it will ever be. And I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud of the fact that we are allowed to say what we want to say.
Right. Our only rule, I guess, over here is don't drop the F-bomb constantly. If it is appropriate in the context you're using at that moment, once, maybe twice, you'll get by with it.
Yeah, I understand. You know, and I fought that battle too, because a lot of people say, you know, you don't like, but I've been telling you, when Scott Grunwald comes on your show,
yeah, you're pretty much
you kind of lose it right there. So we had a couple angry people, you know, calling in. You allow him on the radio? Yes, because he's a comedian.
But see, that's the thing too. That's the thing with Scott, though, is he has some very valuable. If you can get past the burning of the chest hair and the nose picking while he's on camera and all that other stuff, once you get past that, if people just ignore the jokester side of Scott Grunwald and listen to what the man actually has to say, he says some very profound, very.
Well, he's got great points. He really does. I mean, he really. It's wonderful. I mean, what he has to say. I mean, he's so great into the paranormal, but his jokes are hilarious. I mean, he does swear. He does get very dirty. But that's him, you know.
I think with Scott, the difference is radio and TV. Because when he's on TV, he's not so much with the swear words and everything. It's just he'll lean into the camera and go, "My food tastes funny. Help! my wife's been mad at me for weeks. Help! My food tastes funny." Or he'll light his chest hair on fire. But it's more of a visual with him when he's over here.
You know, when you think about it, though, it's once again, it's like, and he knows that when he's on like Z Talk, he can be himself, just be yourself,
right?
Because we don't put the boundaries on you. We don't set it that way. We don't set it with anybody. You know, if that's what you feel and that's what you want to say, and that's your intellect that you want, then go for it. To me, you know what I mean. It doesn't mean that I do it. It doesn't mean that I say it all the time. It doesn't mean that I want you to say it all the time. But I'm not going to come up to you and say, don't say it.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't done that to him either because we know better, and he'll be sitting there and all of a sudden, bleep, 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 and oh my, did that just fall out of my face? And he'll just keep going. So there's no point in trying to wrangle him in. He's Scott. He is who he is.
Yeah.
Right, but that's the same as all the shows on our network too. Is the fact that I want them to be who they are. I don't want them to have to come onto their show and be something different than who they are. I want you to tell us what you think, your opinions, throw them out there.
Right.
They are your opinions. They're not the station's opinions. They're not the overall networks. They're not every show's. They're your opinions, which is great. Have them. That's what makes us America. Seriously, it does. And I get so mad at people that say, well, you can't have this guest on because they were here or there. What?
Yeah, we've heard that before too.
You want on whoever you want on, whenever you want, whenever. Go for it. Just go for it because it's okay.
Yeah. That's what we tell our hosts. It's like, you know, it's your show. Do what you want.
Exactly. Exactly. Do what you want.
And we love having people on that have been seen on YouTube. You know, that's one thing that you do bring up a very valuable point because
I'm on Yahoo.
But both.
Oh, he's on Yahoo. Sorry.
Well, I'm on Google Plus. Top it.
Sucks, by the way. Google Plus sucks.
Yeah. Every time I post anything in there, there's a little tumbleweed that goes across the screen.
Do you hear the music from Rawhide?
No, it's more like the finishing music for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, where they're at the shootout. Yeah. But you do bring up a very valuable point, because both of our stations, to some point or degree, this is the next wave of I don't want to say reality TV or entertainment, but it's both.
Right, it is.
You know,
it is because broadcast TV is never going to go away, but it's not going to be where it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cable TV. You know, they're talking about a la carte, but internet radio, internet TV, internet movies. Now, there's another one. Independent movies right now. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
All these people that are doing all these movies without the big houses, and they're great. There are a lot of very good, talented people doing these internet movies and doing independent movies. And that's the next wave of where we all are going to be, is in this next media phase where everybody can do it, you know, and it's on my tablet, because like I'm watching myself on my tablet. See, right there. See, there you guys are. So, you know, how would you have done that before? You know, and I bet people are listening to us on their smartphones. People are on their tablets. They're, you know, that's what's so cool about this is you can take us everywhere. You don't have to sit at home. You can listen to us in your car, because that's coming next. You know, internet in the car, that's almost here. You know, it's just the wave of the future. And, you know, like I said, the shows have been here for a while. You know, there's been some great shows that are out there. You know, we've all been here 5 years or more.
Well, and quite frankly, this is real reality TV. Yours is real reality radio.
Mm-hmm.
It's not someone sitting there scripted going, hey, this is reality. No, both the networks are.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to say this. I might have to do video, because I'm very good looking.
You're hot.
I'm just looking at myself going, hey, you're a hot looking dude, especially under this light.
If you had just one little diamond stud earring, it would just set it off in the light.
A little bling going on.
Right there.
Yeah.
I know I have to thank Mackenzie for my wonderful outfit tonight, so thank you, Mackenzie.
She dressed you well.
She did, didn't she? You know,
good.
Producer for the buzz. So.
I have to ask you this: of all the places you've been, all the people you've helped, scariest situation you've ever been caught in, and you can even throw somebody under the bus if you have to at this one.
No, I won't. I have nothing to throw people under the bus under. So, you know, people all say, "Oh, you got stuff." No, I don't. The scariest, I guess. I mean, we had to do a lot of work on this one, and it was when myself, Deb Lance, her and I were. You guys know Deb Lance? Ever meet her? Anyway, her and I were the first two psychic mediums ever brought into the I-80 Braumeister Estates to do an investigation. And he's the I-80 murder. You guys hear about this case? It was in Indiana. It was on Highway Interstate 80. He was, I think they just did a paranormal witness on this.
Mm-hmm.
On this, with this estate where they were, this gentleman, this Baumeister, he lived upstairs, and they had a pool in the basement, and he was a really rich, influential member of the community in Indianapolis, and he would end up going to gay bars and taking men home and kill them. Mm-hmm. And as time went on, that's why they call him even I-80, because he's off I-80, but they estimate that he killed about 80 people. He would throw their bodies. He had a hay pile next to his barn where he had bodies just piled on top of bodies. He got so callous in his later life that he would end up just throwing them in the woods. And everybody upstairs thought, because I talk about upstairs, downstairs, because there's two floors where the killings took place was in the basement. And upstairs, he was the normal granddad, father, businessman, but downstairs, He was a perv murderer. And in that house, Deb and I, from the moment we walked in, he was there staring at us. He knew we were here. He followed us around all night. I did where I did it. I let the spirit come through, and we do it, automatic writing, where you let the spirit run your hand. And he did it. He drew this face, and he had these eyes that he cut out with my pen, and it was one of the creepiest pictures I ever saw. But it looked like they were bleeding from the eyes and everything. It was just pretty. It was pretty intense. But the whole night it was intense. The whole night. Deb and I knew nothing about the site. We were even kept at a different hotel when everybody went to see the movie about, or the TV clips of them. And so when we went into this, we knew nothing of it. At the end of the night, when we met with the homeowners, we were able to tell them pretty much what happened at the site and where the bodies were and stuff. And one of the investigators said to us, they go, "So why are you telling them about the movie?" And I said, "What movie?" They go, and he goes, "The movie we saw." He goes, "Oh, that's right, you guys weren't there." And then he realized that we weren't there. But we had dreams of that place up to almost a week after. We had, people say, "Do you take ghosts home?" Yeah, we take ghosts home. Mm-hmm. We took visions home. He was with us. He was with Deb and I. I would call Deb and tell her about the dream, and she just had that same dream. And she would do the same thing for me all about a week. We were having the same dreams. We were having the same things. We were dealing with the same issues. We were feeling the same oppressions. It was probably one of the toughest and scariest. I mean, I never really was like scared, like I'm running out of the building. But I was scared because I didn't know how long I was going to have to deal with this.
Right.
This type of feeling, this type of emotion, this type of negativity, and these type of dreams. And this is the one that Deb and I we're going to be lecturing about this year at conventions. We're going to be talking about how, and the protections and what people have to really realize that can happen. Even with us who know what we're doing, we ended up not knowing what we're doing, you know what I mean? And we ended up getting, this thing kept attached to us for so long. So yeah, by far, that was probably the roughest, the scariest investigation I ever did.
I find that the living scares me more than the dead.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
very true. Yes.
You're on an investigation. You're trying to be stealthy, not stomping around or anything. This man next to me, for being a gentleman of his magnitude, can walk around and you never hear him. He has scared me more on investigations than anything I've run across, because he will just pop into a doorway when you just saw him go the other way.
Years of middle management, being a supervisor and a manager and an operations manager in a warehouse, and you learn how to move around without people seeing or hearing you.
Yeah, if I'm a store manager, I do the same.
Yeah. But like Kim said, I'm 6'3", weigh about 340 pounds right now, so I'm not quite I don't quite have the stealthy footprint I used to, but I move around quietly when I have to.
But when you're on an investigation and you're watching 6 people walk one way, you see him go the other, and all of a sudden he's standing behind you, it scares the snot out of me.
Well, you gotta unique up on them.
Yeah, unique slowly, unique quietly.
Exactly. Have you ever had any trouble, other than the situation you just described? And there's a specific reason I ask, because you are part of one of the most popular paranormal musical groups ever created. But have you ever had trouble with a violent haunting in your life, other than the situation you just described? Have you ever personally experienced some violent haunting, like what Tim Yancey went through, Bill Bean went through? Have you been through anything like that? No.
Bill, who's a dear friend of mine, he's still dealing with it, and I credit him, and I credit his faith for getting him through it, and I know Tim was the same way. No, not at all. I mean, and I thank God for it because, it's tough to be in that position to deal with that. Stephen LaChance and what he went through. I mean, there's a lot in this field. Tony Pickman and Deb Pickman from the Sally House. Another two good friends. I mean, Tony was even the co-host on my radio show for a while. And for him to still have experiences just because people investigate the house. They go in there and he still gets pains, he still gets scratched when people go into the house. And they haven't been in the house for 20 years? Mm-hmm. And he's still dealing with it? Men like that and people like that have my utmost respect because they have to be so strong to deal with that day in and day out. And they always say they're not, that, they let their faith do it. But it's part of them and part of what they've grown up to be, you know what I mean? So it's cool. It's cool in how I see them and how I see them come through it and see what great people they are, even by having to deal with this. So, like I said, I give them so much respect. But no, I've never had anything like that. I've always seen spirits since I was little. I never really thought I was a medium until just a little over 5 years ago. And then I've had some great help from a lot of people, a lot of good people that are listening tonight, and you know who you are, Miss Marla. Looking at you.
She's our favorite witch.
What?
She's our favorite witch.
I know, she's awesome. I love her. I had a lot of people deal with me, and it was on Marla's show. Actually, I'll give the story. It was on Marla's show, I think, just about 5 years ago when she had Derek Cora on. And I was helping her with the show that day. And Derek came on and gave me a reading. And he told me then that I was a medium and that my spirit guide and me would have a stronger relationship than him and his spirit guide. That I would be doing lectures. I'd be on TV. I'd be doing conferences. I'd be doing readings. I'd be helping people. And I laughed. I laughed hard that day. I was like, yeah, right. I'm just a radio guy. I'm in the paranormal investigator. I've always thought I always kind of knew that I saw stuff and never felt, but I never knew what a medium was. I always thought they were the guys. And as you saw me in Indianapolis, I had the gypsy hat on. I put the belly dance scarf around the head. I always thought that's what mediums were, sitting on the crystal ball, going, giving the readings like, whoa, nice, whoa. I always thought that, and I was like, no, I don't do that. But after talking with Derek and seeing him on Most Haunted and then actually talking with him, I started thinking, hey, I do that, I do this, and I do that. And now look what I am. He said, within 5 years, you'll be doing that. And I just talked to him, roughly, 6 months ago, and him and I talked, and I said, you're right, I'm wrong. You're great, I'm bad. You're the best, I'm ugly. It's just, you're right. He was right. And it was great. It was. So, yeah, have I always thought I was a medium? No. Have I always saw ghosts? Yes. Was I a medium all my life? Yes, because I didn't really know the definition. And in the 60s, most people don't really understand it, you know what I mean? You don't really get the point where, this guy's either on drugs, and I was too young to be on drugs, and or I was loony, and that's the way it was. My parents never, my parents understood. I mean, they were supportive of me in this, but they really never understood what a ghost was, really never understood the whole thing. So, I mean, were they supportive? Yes. I didn't have the word that people were telling me I was crazy. It was all the kids in the neighborhood. It was kids at school. It was them being relentless against me that I decided not to see spirit anymore until college. Then, like you said, in college, after I saw a full-body apparition one day, I went screaming and yelled and I was telling people that I saw a ghost. All the girls thought it was cool. So after that, I always saw ghosts.
And so it
because
begins.
Girls liked it.
I was going to say that the same kids who made fun of you when you were little for seeing ghosts are now think you're really cool and stuff because now it's more out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
when
and
we
now
were
that
growing up, it was you didn't talk about that stuff.
right, I've had a lot of kids in school that I didn't think that I've let go by, from the years. But they've called me up and, wanted readings and wanted me to talk to them about it. Said, I saw you in Children of the Grave too. I saw you here. I saw you on the radio. I saw, you were here. It was like, why didn't you tell us before? I said, I did, but you didn't believe. I said, I'm glad you believe now, because now we can make a change. So that's where it comes down to. If people sit here and persecute somebody forever, I don't think that's right either. I think if people make mistakes, people make mistakes off of ignorance, but if they're able to change because of it, if they understand and they grow and they learn, I think then that's what we should move on to, or what we should forgive, and we should let them, grow with us, because I don't want anyone not to know the wonders of spirit, right. The wonders of knowing a ghost in your life and having spirit in your life, and having your family members come in and help you in times of need, and being there for you for your support even when they're passed. If you're missing that, you're missing a wonderful part of life. You're missing a part of the continuity of life that we do live after we go, and we do come back, and we're always here and we're always around, and to have that, and that knowledge is so much greater to live your life, and you live your life so much fuller, because you have points, you have reasons for being here, you have reasons for doing things, you have, even in your times that you question, spirit's there, like I know when I'm starting to question stuff, I will see a lot of birds fly over my car, and the bigger the bird, the more I know I was in trouble. And so today I had a hawk, this huge hawk fly right over my car. And so I knew to myself, I said, stop questioning, get back to what you do, and start going, start back out there. And I am where I am tonight because of it. It's just because we have to forgive, we have to allow people to make mistakes, but we can't force them into this either. We just got to show them by how we live and how we go out there and how we're out in front of people and how we talk. And we hope that people pay it back to us, if we give them something, or pay it forward, that movie, Pay It Forward, if we do that type of thing, I think this year will be better. And I'm really into this year, and I'm going to be talking about it a lot this year, and you guys are the first ones to hear it. But it really needs to be. I really feel that it is important for us to really start looking at everyone. There's somebody in need that's around us at all times. We need to help that person, even to help the person just be able to listen to them and talk with them, because some people need someone to talk with. If we're able to do that, think of how much better somebody's life would be if everybody would help just one person a day.
Right. It's very true. Bravo, sir. I'm of the opinion, forgive but never forget.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a point to that. I understand the people that have called me names and have come down on me, and I forgive them. I forgive them all. And I understand how people get lathered up and how they think it's right at the time, but after they step back, they realize maybe it wasn't the way it came across. And I know you make mistakes. I understand. It's not like I'm going to hold a grudge against anybody, It's just, it's time that we let those bygones be gone, And I always know it's New Year's, and everybody thinks that this is a New Year's thing. But this has got to be a New Year's thing every day. If we can get by the things that we've had in the past, if we can get by this, that's important. That's important.
Yeah, I've been advertising on our Facebook pages. The age of enlightenment starts now.
That's a great point. I'll probably steal that from you guys, because that's great.
You can borrow it for a small fee. I
share it with everybody.
I think we'll all share that with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, because it does start now. It's on your marks, get set, go.
Yeah.
We started.
Like I said, we spent last year cleaning out our closets. It's time to start putting some prettier things in there.
That's right. I concur.
It's true. And there's people that come in through our lives, and they come to us for reasons, and they help us with certain things, and and sometimes they have to part. And that's all part of growing and living too, you know. And none of us are right. I'm not perfect by any means. I'm not.
That's
even
not
though
what your Facebook says.
Well, Facebook lies, you know,
Oh.
everybody knows that. Facebook says I'm also 120, so what the heck? I mean, I don't weigh that. It's just my IQ.
I was that at birth, I think.
But, you know, so I just look at that. I mean, it's we're all here to help. You know, we have people come in and out, and then we fret because they leave. You know, there's reasons why people leave. There's reasons why they come into our lives. They're for our growth, for our knowledge, for our, you know, a lot of times it's for us too, and we forget about that. You know, we helping others, but when people come in and when we help others, it's really for us too. It helps us grow, helps us be better people. You know, too, and that takes a lot for us to do.
Well, you know, in the old saying that hate is like the concept of hate is like drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. I mean, I can't remember who said that, but I mean that's been around for a while, and it's true. When you harbor drama, when your pure motivation is to either harm or damage or degrade someone else, simply for what you think is imaginary gain. That's the same thing as hating somebody. That's just being a hate monger. And when you do that, you know, bad things happen.
Right. Hate takes way too much. Too much emotion, too much for me to handle. You know, that's why I don't like to hate, because that takes way too much out of you to hate. You know, to love is a lot easier.
Yeah.
Love is what we're supposed to be doing anyway.
Yeah, that's like four muscles to smile, 30 to frown, something like that. It's the same concept.
Hate takes away too much of my playtime.
Yeah, that's
right.
True.
You know, you think about it though in the paranormal. You know, we all talk about, you know, and you ask me the reasons why we're in it. If the reason is in it to know that there's something exists after we die, because I guess that's what it is. That's a very religious, or I mean, a very spiritual type of answer to your question. You know what I mean? And I bet a lot of people have given that to you. You know, but people don't look at it that way. They don't want to get into the spiritual side of it. And I don't want to call it religious because I don't myself. I used to be a very religious person, and I'm not anymore. I'm very spiritual, very different way of looking at life. But, you know, if more people are spiritual and understand and live by those rules and let spirit in their life, that's completely different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reason why we're in it, is to become more spiritual, and the late age of enlightenment, like you said too. That's what it is. This is what it's about, you know. Sorry to sound so new agey, but kind of this is where I am this year, and this is where I'm growing, and I think the growth of us are all going to be there. And once we realize and we find that by investigating, by being out there, by working with other groups, by investigating with other people, we'll find that we're all very similar, looking for the same things, and it's really right in front of us. We just have to embrace it. We just have to allow us to look at something and not put preconceived judgments on them, if it's spiritual or not, but just look at it for what it really is. And in most cases, you come to find out that it was spirit, or it was a ghost, or whatever you want to call it, that was there with you. So a lot of times people just spend a lot of time poo-pooing things. You know, if a house creaks, they say, oh, that's the house creaking. I said, how many times does your house creak? I mean, I've lived in my house for, 10 years now, and I think I've heard it creak twice. But I've heard it move a lot more times than that because there's ghosts here. So, you know, stop making such ridiculous claims of what it could be, and allowing you to take the most simple thing. And in most cases, that's ghosts.
Yeah. You know, there's a larger and larger percentage of us that are involved in, like I said, the quote-unquote paranormal field, that are past whether or not the paranormal does or does not exist. We know there's something out there. What we're starting to get into is the how and the why to help everybody communicate the way that we have. And that, I think, once more people get to that point, once again, like you said, it's a snowball. the more people that get involved, and the more people that are on the same page, the more people that are doing positive things, the bigger that snowball is going to get, the faster it's going to roll.
Yep, I was talking with a group from England 2 weeks ago, and they were talking about the very similar type of things. And they said, how can you change? They said, your ideas sound all great, but how can we change the world? I said, we can change the world by one person at a time. Mm-hmm. And I said, we cannot change the world all at once. It will never happen. But if we go forward and we put out and we help one person, that person will help one person. Now we'll help another person, and that will help one person. Then all of a sudden, there's a bunch of people helping people. Then there's more, you know what I mean? And then it goes. But the only way we can do it is if we start out, first of all, with ourselves and make the commitment that we're going to change. And then put out there that we're going to come out and help people and be there for them in their times of needs. And I think that's all we can do, and I think that's a rewarding life. I think that's a successful life. I think that's a great life if we know we've been able to help and touch somebody and actually made their day or life just a little bit better.
Even if it's just giving them answers. I mean, some people, when you go into their house, they don't want you to get rid of it.
No.
They just want you to validate that they're not crazy.
Right, exactly.
And if that helps them, God bless them.
Because most of the time that I find that a lot of the spirits that are in their house are family members.
Right.
I had this one story where we did this. This lady this was on Skype with me. She wanted to show me her house, and we went room from room, and she kept saying that she had a demon in the house, and she wanted me to take care of the demon. I said, yeah, I could take care of the demon for you, because I knew it wasn't one. But anyway, so I said, yeah, I can help you with the demon. So she walked around the house, and I said, so what do you want me to do with this demon when we find it? She goes, I want you to cast him out and send him to hell. So, okay, I will do that. And so at the end of the walkthrough, I went through and I said, so once again, you want me to cast the demon out and send him to hell? I said, okay. And I said, so you want me to send your dad to hell? She goes, what? I said, yeah, your dad's standing right by the desk. That's the shadow that you're seeing. She goes, no, I don't want, right there. Once again, I kind of brought it back from earlier, is the fact that that's what happens with TV. That's what happens with movies. Most of the time people think there's something just because it's dark, just because it's a shadow, just because it's something like that, that it's demonic. And it's not. Mm-hmm. It's the only way that spirit can show you at that time. So allow that spirit to show you that, and accept that spirit in there, because most of the time it's family members.
Or you have the crazy grumpy uncle. Just because he's gone doesn't mean he's going to be a happy soul. He's still going to be the crazy grumpy uncle who's going to be walking around being mean and nasty, but that doesn't make him a demon.
Correct, right. I always say if you're a bastard in life, you're going to be a bastard in death.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if you live that life there, you're going to live that life the past, because your personality goes with you, unfortunately, and you do learn and you do change. But, yeah, that grumpy person is still there, and a lot of times there's evil. I mean, people talk about demons, and I don't really believe in demons. I don't really think that demons exist. So, to me, what is more demonic or what is more evil to me is the fact that humans, we know the difference between right and wrong. We know what's good and what's bad. And we choose, we physically and mentally choose to do wrong.
Right.
To do harm to others. That to me is way more evil than some creature that has never known anything but evil. I don't think they have the same purposes and same ideas as somebody that would, choose to do harm to somebody.
So wait.
Does that make sense?
Let me get this.
Me.
Let me get this straight. So every Tuesday on TV, it's really not a demon?
No, it's usually somebody's gas.
Yeah, and here's another one you can take with you. We've coined the phrase over here at PEN when we talk about the quote-unquote paranormal shows. They are infotainment.
It is. I mean, they are entertainment. You know, every show is. So take it for what it is. I mean, I know a lot of great people on there, and I know many people that have been on these shows. You know, are real good friends.
So do we.
Yeah, the triumphant trio, the Valiant Plumbers. I mean, they're as far as people go, they're great people.
Right.
On the shows, if people believe it, but then I put some responsibility on people to do some thought too.
Right, I do too. I mean, your TV show can only be what your TV show allows you.
Right.
You got in it because you're an investigator. You got in it because you're somewhere in the field and you had some credibility. So to get cast in it in itself is impressive, and I congratulate everyone that has. But that only goes up to a point because most of them do not have say in the show.
Right.
They do not have say on how they get edited. They do not have say what is added after they're done filming. They do not have say in all that.
Right.
They do not have say in how the show is going to be, in the end, come out.
Yeah,
so
we know that because John.
You guys know that too. So I mean, and they've all told you that. I mean, so.
Well, John Tenney, he did the one show one time, and when they said now go in and tell his family he's a demon, and he's like, "Yep, see ya, bye," and walked away from his contract.
Yep.
Which is integrity, which is a rare, almost a superpower in these days and times.
Very true.
You have jumping tall buildings, integrity. That's the next superpowers we'll be talking about. And you know, I want to ask. I have kind of a funny thought, and I want to ask your opinion. You know, the very beginning of the spiritualist movement, the beginning of the 19th century. You know, they were using things like candles inside of jars, instead of like hurricane lamps for people inside of bell jars and whatnot for spirits to play with or manipulate. We've got to where our candles now are LEDs, and the the wax is actually a battery inside of a doorstop / K2.
Right.
But the questions that are asked in the EVP sessions, I'm very curious how the next generation is going to actually try to text to the other side.
Yeah, that would be a great thing, but I still think it's the human reaction or interaction. I think it still needs to be the human element put to it. You know what I mean? I think it needs to be that. I think it needs to have that because I don't think humans will ever not stop talking to spirit. I think actually more people will start talking to spirit than stop talking to spirit. Does that make sense?
I think Eric's point here was go to the mall. Look at any teenager and what they're doing. There can be a group of 20 and not one of them is actually moving their lips. They're all moving their thumbs and they're talking to each other.
I know.
I mean, when he had his heart attack...
I talked to my kids downstairs by texting them.
When he had a heart attack, his sons came up with their wives. There's 4 of them sitting in the living room talking to each other, but not a single one of them is moving their mouth. Only thumbs. I'm like, really?
I'm just curious where we're losing. In my humble furry opinion, we're losing that skill, the ability to communicate with live heart beating people.
Well, they've gotten rid of chalkboards. They're getting rid of books in the schools. What next? You don't even have to talk to the teacher. You just text them.
Yeah.
Internet classes.
I mean, I could see that. I could see that, but I think by us being more spiritual and then being in the field and doing this, I think we're going to be able to overcome that. I think because even the spiritualist movement when it first started to where it is today, we're very similar. I mean, we're still doing seances. We're still doing mediumship.
We're still talking to spirits stumbling around in the dark.
We're still doing that too, you know. Edgar Casey did it back then, you know, and all the... You think about how many people have done it for years. I mean, my first investigation in '93, we put baby powder on the floor. We helped put string up to see if it would move, you know. So Has it changed that much? No.
No, I'm a dowser. I mean,
Oh, I am too. I love dowsing.
yeah.
And I found my remote because I dowsed. So
Hey, whatever works.
I lose my car keys. Give me my dowsing rods.
Hey, if it works, it works. I love my dowsing rods. They make me happy.
Happy.
That's right.
It's good to be happy. You gotta be happy.
I'm a happy person.
So you're the
which
dowser.
tends to get annoying at times.
You're the dowser commander.
That's right. I'm the Dow's commander.
Nice,
Sort
nice.
of like Duck Dynasty. I'm the Dow's dynasty.
Engage number one. Make it sold.
Have you? I try to ask this of all of our guests. If you had one suggestion that you could give to somebody that's moving beyond the whole tourist aspect of being in paranormal investigation, they're getting serious about it. If you had one suggestion over your years of experience that you could pass on to them, what would that be?
Share information. See, now he needs the question marks over his head.
Yeah, I can put those on. Yeah. Does he work?
There they are.
Question marks. The one thing I could leave and I could tell everybody. The one, all right. Yeah. Well, how do I put this? I think everybody needs to trust themselves more than their equipment. I think people need to, because I believe everybody's a medium. I believe everybody on this face of the earth has the abilities. I always say it's like, I use the baseball analogy. Everybody on this earth has played baseball in some form. Kickball, stickball, something. You know what I mean? You play baseball in some form. Everybody has. Not everybody can be Henry Aaron. You know, some people play stickball, some people play bar league, some people play minor league, some people play on the Brewers, some people play on the Blue Jays, some people play on the Yankees. You know, some people are in the Hall of Fame, A-Rod, you know, some people, Babe Ruth, you know. So mediumship is the same thing. There's people in every form. And I think if we actually, as a society, tapped into that and learned how to use that through meditation and using our mediumship abilities, I think that by far would answer all the questions for everyone. And I don't think we would need to go out and be doing the investigating we're doing. I think we need to just go out and give each other readings and have spirits come through and talk with us and help us each day. I think that, to me, would be where I would like to see, or I would like to leave, or I would like to teach.
Good answer.
You didn't ask him the other.
Oh, and if you had
Turn them off.
if you had to tomorrow
No, that's not the question.
stop, if you had to tomorrow stop being involved with the paranormal, or stop giving readings or doing any kind of mediumship work, which one would you give up first? Or are they too connected?
They're too connected to me, but I would give up the investigating with equipment.
Okay.
I would stop doing that before I would stop communicating with spirit, helping people, because I still think I can go to their homes and talk with them and do a reading in their homes instead of showing them an EVP in their house.
Right.
Because I think I can give them enough continuity where they would know who's there, and I could describe the person well enough that they would know what was happening.
I agree with everything you said, because I do think that's a huge issue, not even in the paranormal community, but across the planet right now. Is there's so many people that don't have confidence in themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe in themselves enough to want to believe in anything else. And like you said, if you can change how you affect one person, if you can make a positive impact to one person each day, if it's leaving a quarter taped to a vending machine,
Right.
You know, that small act of kindness.
You know, like they did that in that, I forget what town it was, but there was a town that this kid died, and now everybody in that town's kind of like paying forward. You know what I mean? That people are all writing, you know, like one person paid a $50 tip on this waitress's thing and said because of this kid, and we're trying to do better. You know, and each one in the town, everybody's paying for the people behind them. You know, he goes, a guy at a restaurant goes, I don't know how many times that anyone's really paid their own bills, you know, because everybody's paying for somebody else. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about too. That's, I mean, even in helping by doing the same thing. If we just were able to do that, one person at a time, and have the confidence in ourselves and the abilities that we're all good people. It takes a lot for a person to actually think that. You know, the other thing is because there's a lot of people that take that too far then. You know, and that's where they get back into the ego. And I think that's where a lot of the issues that we have stem from, because people go too far. You know what I mean? Their ego goes too far. Instead of taking it to a point and say, I'm confident in what I do, I understand what I do, and I like to help who I'm helping, but to a point, I will still say, I always say this, it's not me, it's Spirit that does. Spirit comes through me, I'm just the one that's here to tell them. I'm just the radio. I just spit out what they tell me.
Well,
you know, so it's Spirit. It knows, but I know I have to have the gift. I know I have to have the want to do it. I know I have to have the practice to listen to Spirit, to understand and interpret right, and be able to put the right information out. You know what I mean? So I know it does take me too, but it's a team. You know, it's more a team to me than I.
Well, and when it comes to helping people and paying it forward, you know, it doesn't have to cost you a penny. The little old man walking into Walmart, just smile at him. I mean,
Correct.
you may be the only smile he sees all day.
Yep, or help him with his cart when you need to take it down the stairs.
Yeah.
Or, you know, reach the can that you can reach and he can't.
Right.
It doesn't take much to be nice.
No, just those one little issues at a time is what's going to change us as a whole society, as a world, as a nation. You know, I mean, I get very Star Trekian because I love Star Trek, but, you know, they get to a point where, you know, they fight other worlds, but the Federation themselves was one. They have one focus. They have one directive. They have one mission, and that's great. And I would love to get to a time when we are like that in this world.
Yeah. I was fixing to ask you, isn't that the Borg?
No, the Borg assimilates.
Do I need to separate you two?
The Borg assimilates, and
we're giving it all we got, Captain.
Allows you to have choice, which God allows us to have.
And I'm proud to say neither one of us are red shirts. So way to go, Scotty.
I know I got my gold shirt on. You know, usually Captain.
Oh Lord.
There's that new book out I haven't read yet that I want to. Life is a Red Shirt, I think is the name of it is. I can't wait to. I want to read that.
Well, you always knew. You always knew who was going to die. That was the great thing about the older version of Star Trek. Is you always knew who was going to die when they beamed down.
Yeah, because they came. The main four characters came down with 3 other people.
Yeah,
and you're going, 3 other people are going to die in this episode.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Except with the Tribbles, I don't think anybody died with the Tribbles.
I love the Tribbles. That's the only one I like.
Yeah.
But that's just because they remind me of the old-fashioned fuzzy house slippers, and they were cute.
And funny enough, I'm slowly but surely becoming a Tribble.
Yes, you are.
Round and furry and indistinguishable. Anyway.
I know you have a event coming up in March.
In March? Yeah, I have one in March, Phenomenology.
I thought you also, according to your site, you also had the Manor Madness, or...
Brumner Mansion, I have one. I have one that's in Milwaukee. That's in March. I have the one that's I have a psychic fair coming up here in January on the 24th up here in Wisconsin. And then I have the birthday party of Keith Age and the Booth Brothers.
All right, covering that bar tab.
Yeah, mark your calendars for that one because that one's going to be great. We're doing an old-fashioned roast, or actually probably new-fashioned roast because Jim O'Rear and I are writing this, and we're kind of a little dirtier than the old days. So
if Jim gets out of line, tell him to get in the corner, and he'll laugh because I always put him in the corner.
Yeah, Jim and I will be in the corner all the time on this because some of the stuff we've come up with already and we're putting out. But we're doing a roast of the Booth Brothers and Keith Age. And I warn everybody that comes, and that's why we put a limitation on age on it, because we are not going to be clean. I'm going to be the first psychic medium with a potty mouth. And
no, we've known several that they just don't do it publicly.
Right. It's going to be a very it's going to be a very cool thing. It's going to be a great roast. It's going to be a roast once again. So if anybody's like seeing the Comedy Central roast, where they beep out and they have the Friars Club, the new ones, the Friars Club roast. Now that's what it's going to be more like. So we'll get up there, we'll tell jokes, we'll just lambaste them for about an hour, and then we'll let them go on, and we'll have a party. So it's going to be like a convention without the vendor tables.
Yeah.
Because everybody spends the night in the bars anyway.
Right.
Again, we're not covering that bar tab.
Yeah, I ain't covering that bar tab.
We've been to conventions with the Booth Brothers. We're not covering it.
Oh, yeah, those guys. I know a lot of times because I don't drink, so I end up making sure that they get back to their rooms. And I have my hands full, I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, we know. When was it? Last April at Full Moon, they're like,
oh, yeah.
we're going down to BB King's in Nashville. And it's like, you have fun. Well, you guys are going, right? No, we're going home. We will see you tomorrow.
You guys have fun with that.
And apparently it turned into a pub crawl.
Pub crawl till like 5 or 5:30. When the pictures started coming out on the internet, I was like, yeah, well, that's why Sunday was kind of slow.
When we were we did the Stanley Hotel last year, and we kept getting kicked out of room after room after room. The security guard was just getting to a point where we even tried to go outside and we got kicked out because everybody could hear us. And so I ended up finding a hallway between. There was like this door, like a breezeway type of thing, so it protects from the cold from the outside coming in. So we were all standing inside this little room because it was like protected, so the whole place didn't hear us. So it was crazy. So we had some great times last year. We had a lot of fun.
What's that?
Christopher and Philip. We had a good time filming Children of the Grave 2 together. It's a great film. If you haven't seen that one, make sure you get that.
Philip gave me that film in April.
Oh, really?
I've seen it.
Cool. Yeah, it's at spooktv.com. Make sure you get your copy of it. Sorry, I'm shamelessly plugging now.
Plug away?
No, plug. I already have my copy of it. It's a great movie. Like I said, Philip gave me my copy last April.
And the neat thing about that movie is the fact that that we caught some stuff that I've never seen caught on TV before, or any TV show or movie before this. And everything you saw that we caught on there was live and real, and nothing was staged. And when we had that shadow figure, because I was talking to the shadow figure that was up there, and he was hiding behind our sound man, who Brian Hensley, and when that shadow moved all the way across the wall by itself, we were freaked. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen, to be able to capture something that you were actually talking to. That's what I talk about, and we were talking about it all night. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for, is let's put mediumship together with the tech and see if we can really come together with some answers like we did in that movie.
And help to explain to people that don't have that understanding.
Right. They actually show them that these are really spirits. This is how they move. This is how we, I was talking about them. The great thing about Philip and Keith and Christopher is when we did the movie, I met Christopher first back in Pensacola, Paracon, and that's when he cast me in the movie. And then he said to me, he goes, this is the date we're shooting. You be in Ohio. I was like, what? He goes, I go, where in Ohio? He said, just be in Ohio on Tuesday. Okay. I was like, all right. So I called up some of my friends that lived down around Cincinnati. I said, okay, I'm coming to your house. I'm going to stay at your house. Because I still have to be in Ohio on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning comes, and I'm like getting no text yet. All of a sudden I get a text. It's from Christopher. It says, here's the place you need to be. Google it. So I Googled it, or I put it in my directions in my GPS. It was 2.5 hours away. He said be there in 3 hours. I was like, oh, great. Give me no time to get there. I get up there. He says, now stay. I text him right before I get into town. He says, now stay at this restaurant, have a cup of coffee, and wait for us. About a half hour later, they say, okay, drive up. I drove up. They put a microphone on me. Philip put a camera in my face and said, okay, tell me about this building.
Surprise!
No pressure.
Right. And that's when we did. So when the first thing you see in Children of the Grave 2 is them, as me. That's really me walking out of the car looking at the building, and I went right away. I said, this room and this room. There's 150 rooms in that building. And for us to be able to find, and then the thing was, we went into the girls' room, and we got thermal on her too. And then we went into the guys' room, and in the guys' room there was actually a mattress in there and a pair of pants on that mattress. Men's pants on that mattress. I was freaked after it. I was like, how did I hit that?
Yeah.
But and then to get the images that we got, then that was crazy. So that's the great thing about their movies is nothing staged. They go in and do it. They do the documentary as it happens, and they get your real life responses. So that's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, we talked about TV not doing it, but TV edits it really weird. Christopher and Philip don't, and Keith is really there investigating, and he's got all his equipment, so it's great.
Well, plus he's a heck of a guitar player too, isn't he?
He is. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good, and so is Patrick Burns and Bill Bean.
Yeah. And what's Tim play? The tambourine?
I think he does. Yes.
Yeah.
And then Trisha.
Trisha has the
Sings.
voice. She has the voice
Yes.
of an angel. She's got an angelic voice.
Yeah, they were great. They played well at Mid-South. It was always great to see them play.
I keep telling.
That's where I mixed him up in the beginning when I said he got married on the beach. That was Patrick, not him.
That's right.
That was
Yeah.
Patrick on the beach. Yeah, that was at Key West. That was we were at his wedding and we had a blast. They got married at 11:11 at 11:11 in the morning, and they got married underwater. My wife Terry, she went scuba diving with them, and part of the videos that you see out there from Patrick's wedding is filmed by Terry underwater. It was a great wedding. We were out on the boat and really good time. And it was tough for me because I was having some health problems at the time. So I know Eric, he said, the stuff is really weird, but I got through those and it was a good time. And I went parasailing for the first time, riding jet skis for the first time.
Love the jet skis.
It was great. I mean, these jet skis were huge and they were fast and you're on the ocean. It was like, wow. I think we got up to 50 miles an hour. That was crazy. It was fun. It was a good time. So that was Patrick's wedding and Marley's wedding. So
Yes.
Those two are awesome. Have you guys ever had them on the show?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, tell them Scotty sent you.
I will.
But yeah, Patrick and Marley is great. Marley Gibson, who's a phenomenal writer in her own mind. No, in everyone's mind. I'm actually a character in her book. I'm Mr. Rorek, the history teacher in her Ghost Huntress series.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. And I have a co-host on my show right now who fills in when Bob Sinkner is not on with me. I have a co-host. His name is William Beck. He's a writer. He's a great writer. He wrote Caribbean Agenda. He's got a great series of books out there. If you ever pick them up, It's William Beck. He's on my Facebook page. You can find him. But he's a phenomenal author. He'll be on my show Monday night co-hosting with me because Bob's still on vacation. William actually wrote me in before he started co-hosting. He wrote me into this next book coming out as a character. So I'm not going to be the nice guy I am. I'm going to be a little more devious, but I'm pretty excited about that. So,
well, look at
so
you.
yeah, I'm getting a couple books out of this too. So that's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
I actually made it in a book this year.
You did?
I did Deanna Kelly, So You Want to Be a Ghost Hunter book. One of my experiments is in there.
I'm also in Ghost of Wisconsin. So you
Bragger.
can look it up too. So
Look at him. He's one up in me over here. I finally make it into a book, and he's teacher.
He's in two. He's in two.
He's in three.
I'm in a couple, few 2, 3, 4. It's fun. It's good. I mean, you just investigated. I think we investigated with her, and she wrote us in. It's Sherry Stroop's book.
Well,
So-
Deanna was talking about different experiments, and we started talking one night over Skype, and she's like, I want to use that. And it's like, you can have it, but you put my name on it.
Well, good. That's neat. It's awesome. That's always cool. I mean, especially with my name, I kind of get into it a little bit once in a while. My name is Rorek, and like I said earlier, there's not too many of us left. So once my kids go, then that's it.
Well,
so.
and then plus there's not many of our generation that remember Mr. Rorek from Fantasy Island.
See, that's true. That's true. I always say that a lot.
Because actually, when you just said that, when you said Mr. Rorek and the history teacher, first thing that popped into my mind was the plane. That was the first thing that came into my mind.
Yeah. I would go, smiles, everyone. Welcome to Fantasy Island.
And this is why you two were both inside and not outside
The new
somewhere.
Baron with Corinthian leather.
Yeah, my fine Corinthian leather. Everybody, now, here's a trivia question. So you guys are looking at the chat room. I don't have the chat room up because my tablet stopped on the page. I can't see it now. But so in there, what car was he talking about?
The Chrysler Cordoba. The Cordoba.
See, you give the answer before everybody in the chat room
We said
can.
in the chat room, not you.
I thought he was asking just in general. I'm sorry. I'm not competitive at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, pay attention to this interview. Hey, we're right here. But yeah, it's the Cordoba. I mean, how many people know what a Cordoba is, and if you even know what it looks like?
I do.
I do too. My aunt had one. It was a great car.
My first car was a '68 Ford Falcon. What do I know?
I had a Toyota Corolla, one of the first ones. Those
I had
were cool.
a Gremlin.
A Gremlin. I had this. I forget what this was. I had a Chrysler, and it was the last time I've ever owned a Chrysler, because I call it the anti-Chrysler. It was so bad, it would eat transmissions left and right.
The New Yorker?
No, it was a little sporty one. It had a fin on the back, and I forget the name of it.
Omni?
It might have been. And it just ate transmissions. I had 3 transmissions, and I got rid of it. So
My first car was a 1980 Datsun 200SX with the trunk, and it was a Datsun, not a Nissan.
That's nice.
His first vehicle was a moped. Don't fall for anything he's telling you at this
first
point.
car.
That's nice. It's funny. My car now, I have a 2004 Crown Vic. But my Crown Vic has cop tires, cop shocks.
I was going to say, it's a cop car.
Suspensions. I finally got my cop car.
Nice.
Big Blues Brothers fan, too. Not only do I love Ghostbusters, but because everyone sees me out there with my Ghostbusters belt buckle, but I love the Blues Brothers. It's my other film.
Have you ever run across any Illinois Nazi?
I have run across Illinois Nazis, and I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
It's time for the rest of our children. You got to go screaming from the mountaintops.
Yeah, I always go, Our Lady of Blessed Acceleration, don't fail me now.
What's the line?
And my cigarette lighter works, too, so, I mean, that's a good...
We got half a pack of cigarettes, it's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hit it. Exactly.
Okay, and with that...
That should scare everybody.
Go rent the Blues Brothers, and you'll hear every line that we just said from there. Yes, I can tell you every line from Ghostbusters too, if you want me to.
And we have we have both kinds of music. We have both kinds of music here. We have country and
Western. I say that all the time. Every time I hear, I watch like Carrie Underwood or something. I said she sings both types of music, country and Western.
Oh goodness, you're gonna have trouble eating corn on the cob with no teeth.
Z Talk, what night? Who you got? I'm gonna keep this thing rolling if I gotta drive over both of you.
We have live shows every night of the week, so tune in every night at ztalkradio.com. My show is The Buzz on Monday nights from 8 p.m. Central to 11 p.m. Central, or longer. It depends on, because usually if we give readings, it goes until midnight. So, but there's live shows every night in during the day, so tune in all the time. We have a lot of podcasts replaying. Chris Fleming plays his podcast on our station, and you can also download all the shows there. So there's a lot of people, a lot of good shows. Skeptical Edge by Joe Kudo and Kale Kelly. I mean, and I'm sorry to forget everybody. Paranormal Underground. We got a lot of great shows on our network. So,
yeah, we've had Joe and Kale on the last month or so. We've had them on several times. We love them guys.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're my co-owners at the station with me. So,
yeah, they're good guys.
Yeah, they're great. And I didn't want to leave before I put my cowboy hat on for you guys.
Yeah, please.
A quick question. Are you going to the Unity Fest?
Unity Fest? No, I haven't planned to yet. But am I?
I don't know. It's in March. It's in Texas. You have the hat.
I have the hat. And I know both types of music, country and Western.
And as much as I hate to say this, did you know your hat's made out of the same material as your chair?
It is. Look, it looks the same, doesn't it?
So either that's a straw chair,
or it's a velveteen hat.
Couch. I don't know what it is. I know that's like you said before we went out of the air. You said radio guy playing with TV. Yeah, I'm having too much fun with TV.
Yeah,
making faces at myself all night long, laughing.
It's glue. It's strong stuff.
Mark said my first car was the Flintstones mobile. Yeah. One of these days, Marla, pow, right in the kisser. Zoom to the moon.
Except her name's not Alice, but it'll work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell her your theme song, okay? Marla has a theme song. Someday ask her about it, and I don't think she'll tell you about it.
Her theme song?
Because when we first started, Marla and I, Tim Shaw, and everyone were all on the same station. And we used to stay up nights, for all night long, just playing music and just goofing around, saying the stupidest stuff on the air. We just had blasts. We just had blasts.
That would be fun.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
I just got a threat in Skype from me. Okay, Marla, I won't tell nobody. Promise.
For a nickel.
And I tell you what, Scotty, when we go off air, you don't have to tell us either.
I won't. Oh, wait, she saw that. Damn it, it's radio. I like radio better.
Oh, goodness. Well, Scotty, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Well,
thank you so much. It's been a blast.
We did have a good time. Thank you.
Stick around for a second before we go anywhere. Everybody be sure to tune in here tomorrow night. We have Spiritual Saturday with Namaste Yoga to lead things off. 2 episodes of Spiritually Raw on their weekly wrap-up show. And Miss the lovely Maureen Holleran with Tarot Visions.
And Monday night we have Rick Garland from Harper's Ferry going to be our guest on
Just Saying.
And next Friday we have Scott.
And next Thursday I am talking with Abel Garcia. And just like with Z-Talk, it's going to be a battle. Just like with Z-Talk, we have live shows every night of the week. Be sure, if you can't make it to see Scotty and his crew,
or hear his crew,
come see us.
Because my show is on the same time his show is on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm on later, so stay.
Well, no,
come
we're
over
on
here.
at the same time, but
we're-
they can turn you up and watch me. See?
There you go.
That
And
way,
everybody wins.
Exactly.
there you go.
You can always watch and do more things. I mean, people got tablets and computers, so watch one on one and watch one on the other.
There you go.
That's why they made Windows 7 so you could open 2 windows.
There you go. Good night, everybody. And be
Night,
safe.
everybody.
Go get 'em, boys!
And welcome to PEN. Welcome to Pema TV.
Welcome to January 4th, 2013, our first show of the year.
Yes, it is. And we're coming up, believe it or not, folks, Pema TV is coming up on an anniversary here soon.
Pema TV and PEN.
That's true.
PEN's second anniversary will be March 18th.
Yep.
Pema TV's third anniversary will be March 19th.
That's right. And in internet years, that's like for forever.
We've been around so long, people are trying
We're
to
not farting dust yet, but we're getting there.
Well, he is, but that's all.
But we get discounts at the internet movies. Never mind.
Really, let's discuss this for a moment, shall we? John Dugan went to the movies the other night to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D.
That he
is in
Yeah.
as Grandpa for the second time. He was in the original as the grandfather. He's in this one as the grandfather. $16 a ticket, really?
That's not counting the $35 popcorn or the $12 soda.
Well, don't forget the $11 jujubes either. That is ridiculous.
Well, that's why they're always right next to finance companies now.
And hello, he's in it. They should let him in for free.
You would think.
God.
I didn't do it.
To
They
be
got to
honest-
pay for all those special effects somehow.
Okay, I will totally show my age. First movie I ever went to, I was 3. Jungle Book. It cost me 50 cents to get in at the matinee. $16? Yeah.
I was 2 or 3, and I think the first movie I ever went and saw was Old Yeller.
And he still cries.
And I still cry when Old Yeller dies. It's a sad movie.
It's sort of like Where the Red Fern Grows.
Only sadder.
Anyway.
And the dog is more blonde. But other than that, we're getting off way off.
Sorry, I had to go there. He said movies.
Real quick, everybody. Right below the chat rooms, you will see our social media buttons. Please practice your stalking skills on us. Follow us. Get all of our announcements. We do have a link. If you look up the buttons at the top of the website, we do have a link page. If you'd like to exchange your links with us, all we ask is a straight trade. It helps everybody.
And
Drum roll.
drum roll, please.
We are pleased to announce
PEN is having their first Paracon
yes, we are.
in Napanoch, New York,
Yep.
May 3rd and 4th.
Try to work together with people instead of work against people. We try to help people that are in need instead of trying to break them down, cut them down, step on them to get somewhere. So if we can all start with one person at a time or one show at a time, I think that this is going to be a phenomenal year, and I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. We decided that last year was a year of clearing or cleansing. I mean, it seems a lot of people, a lot of us thought we're friends, weren't really so much.
Right.
It was kind of like cleaning the closet and getting ready for this year. And this year we're ready to rock. And PEN, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have our first Paracon coming up, and a portion of all the donations are actually going to an animal rescue.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, our whole fundamental idea over here has always been to give a voice to those that needed one or wouldn't normally have the ability to be one.
Right.
And to give back. Because of health issues I had last year, because of us relocating physically this year, the economy's in a crapper. This is a time when people need to figure out that the community is very important.
is, and the friendships is probably the biggest thing that we can take out of this. Without the friendships or working with people, I don't know why we're even doing this. You know, everyone says, "Oh, I'm here for answers." Well, the answers come when we work together. The answers don't come if we're all fighting against each other.
Right.
You know, the amount of people that have EVPs out there that won't share them, that won't tell people how they got them or where they got them, so somebody, or won't allow them into that haunted house because they don't want anybody else in there. Instead of offering, "Hey, can I have another group come in here and see if we can catch the same spirit on tape?"
Right.
You know, and I would like. We did it in Kentucky at a cemetery, and we did 3 investigations by 3 different groups, 6 months apart, and all 3 of us got EVPs that were identical in voice from the same spirit. So that to me supersedes all this other. You know, I mean, if you look at science itself, science. You know, one person finds something because he was experimenting and he can now recreate it. Now he has somebody else recreate it to see if it's the same thing. So I don't know why in the paranormal we don't do that. Why aren't we trying to? Well, because people's egos are.
Shadow on the wall that looks like a man. Lord, that lamp just moved on that stand. I got movement in the cellars, I got footsteps in the hall. There's no time to waste, I better make some calls. I gotta get ready, make everything right, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team, let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. This old house has a long history. It should be real good for activity. And we got the house wired for sound and got motion alarms setting all around. Got a box full of batteries ready to go, and everyone's itching to start this show. Got our logo tees, driving black SUVs, and that one bald guy with a slick goatee. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is Brother Mike. Well, there's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rowdy friends are goes hunting tonight. Hey, round up the team. Let's get started. Hey, this is your big brother Mike calling. There's a party and you're invited. We got the camera set, let's turn off these lights, 'cause all my rider friends are goes hunting tonight. That's right.
I want to do live shows then, so.
Yeah, so you do a Monday night show because that's the same night Mary and I fell on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do Monday nights from 8 to 11 or 8 to midnight, depends on how long the show goes.
We do 8 to 9:30.
Yeah.
There you
Um,
go. Yep. We're on a long time. So, it's fun. We're doing a little bit different on the show this year. We call it The Buzz Gives Back this year. It's kind of a new theme for this year. In the past, we've done a lot of interview shows. I mean, and congratulations on being on, 2.5 years, 2 years for you guys, because that's phenomenal in internet time.
Thank you.
There's not any shows that last more than 2 weeks, so
usually,
congratulations.
either that or we're really slow learners, Scotty, one of the two.
Exactly. I mean, I hit just hit my 450th show. So I am pretty excited that I've been on just right about 5 years now. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a long time doing radio, internet radio. So it's kind of fun. So
And before any of our viewers in the chat room or anybody watching us on archives freaks out and starts emailing, worrying about Scotty, first of all, like I just showed you, he does have a ghost pack.
Yes.
Who are you going to call? Second of all, yes, he does know that there is a ghost on his chair.
There's a ghost on my chair?
Yeah. I think there is.
Ah! Yes, there is. That's spooky.
Yeah.
He is always with me. He's there when I do readings, and people always laugh at that when I do my mediumship readings, and I do them online here on the video. So I'm kind of used to the video thing, but I brought him out. He's lit up now for the new year, so he's kind of having fun.
He's partying with the rest of us.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good year. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this year. I don't know about you guys. I just think it's going to be just a much better year. I mean, more spiritual year all around. So I'm really excited. But anyway, so the buzz this year, because of that, we call it the Buzz Gives Back. And what it is this year, instead of just doing interviews, we're actually doing one interview a show that has to do something with helping people. 1 week it could be readings, 1 week it could be a guy doing taxes, 1 week it could be, but it's something that helps everybody every week. We're gonna try to help people out more this year. We're gonna try to see if as a community, as paranormal community, a spiritual community, we can all start coming together instead of fracturing like it's been. So we're really going to start taking that approach this year. 2013 is going to be the year where at least my show will start, and then hopefully others will pick up. That we actually.
There will be a website available. Check Facebook. I just sort of finished it today. I've been working on it all day long. There it is. Never mind.
It is in the
He
chat room.
posted it.
It is in the chat room. For those of you watching it on archives, it is actually www.penevents.webs.com. penevents.com.
.webs.com.
Oh, .webs.com. Excuse me.
I went free. Hey,
I know.
free's good.
Free is good. Free, and these days and times, free is awesome. But back to the subject at hand, so to speak.
It's not the subject at hand. Tonight, we have a very special guest. He is the owner of Z Talk Radio. Even though he's shaking his head no, I'm giving him that title for the next hour anyway. But even better, he is one of the ultimate orbed hounds.
Yes, he is. He does play a solo role in the Orb Tones. He's also a fellow broadcaster.
Paranormal investigator, and all-around fun guy.
And former male model. Glad to welcome to the show.
It was Chippendale, sorta.
It was Chip and Chip Coffee. I don't know what that was. Chippendales, that's for sure. Hey, welcome.
Welcome, Scotty Rorek.
Teaching me. I'm doing TV.
Yay!
And you're being seen by millions of viewers right now.
All 12 of them.
Millions.
I had to dress up for it. Not like when I do my radio show, I can sit in whatever I want to because it's radio.
Well, yeah, it'd be like Ron White. You could be naked in a beanbag chair eating Cheetos if you wanted to. That's up to you.
The crunch may get a little loud on,
You just mute the mic.
Aha.
Of course, you do get that little orange dust all over the microphone fuzz.
Yeah, and the windscreen would look kind of bad, but other than that, would be cool.
Yeah, you just
It's
hose
yours.
it off and move on.
It's your windscreen.
I know. I have to buy a new one every week. It's just like orange. And
How are you, Scotty?
I'm doing great. I actually took some time off between December 18th and right now, and now I'm back into it. So it's kind of nice. So you guys are, it's your first show of the year and my first show back. So it's kind of neat. I haven't even done our radio show since. Just took a break this year around Christmas. And it also helped that the radio show fell on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Didn't